Welcome back to Mr. Smith Garage. Going to do a couple things today with the transaxle on jack. I'm just going to give you a quick shot here. So our goal today is to get the transaxle out of the vehicle and onto the ground. There's a couple things we're going to do with that. I'm going to try and bring you through most of the process pretty quickly just so you see it's very few steps. I'm going to be using the Bentley, and it's just a few steps, especially with the engine out. Main thing, you want to make sure you have some safety glasses on and a jack to support the weight. It's pretty heavy. I've already got the axles off. As you remember yesterday, we worked on this. This is going to be I'm going to drain the fluid before I drop it, just so that I don't have that extra weight in there. Plus, I know I'm going to replace it when I get it back in. So I made this yesterday's video. Also got the CVs here. I'm going to put them together backwards from what they normally do. So the bevel, so normally you put this towards the towards the transaxle and towards the wheel. So this is going to be flipped. So this is going to go towards the center. The axle is actually going to go in this way, which then would also include that my bevel is on the inside, right? And I flipped the inner races so that this little raised guy is going to be to the outside, right to the circlip on the axle. We're going to do that on both sides because these were pretty worn, and I'm just going to put them together like that, try and use them. If it works, great. If for some reason I still get some noise in there, then we'll just we'll buy some new ones. I did go out online and look and found that well, not new, they're probably rebuilt, repacked, and they probably are they're not German like these. Would cost me about, from the lowest price, I think it was like $99 for 2 sets. Like it was the axle, boot, CV all together. And for the highest price, it was a couple $100. So that's what we're going to do with those. So without further ado, I'm going to get you underneath the van, and we're going to start taking some stuff apart and getting it ready to drop. Okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to use our new handy dandy tool to fit in here. Now, normally if you're just changing your fluid, you should always open the fill hole first before you do this. Mainly because you want to make sure that you don't drain your fluid if you don't know if you can put fluid back in. Now, from what I know, this stuff smells pretty bad. Too bad you guys can't smell it there with me. Let's see how much we get out of here. Whew. Actually looks pretty clean, doesn't it? Not too bad. Not too bad. Now, I will tell you though, this doesn't look good. You can see what that's collected, the metal that's collected on the bottom there. Quite a bit of metal. Nothing super large. I know you can't see that. No big chunks. Just little pieces. All right. Next thing Mr. Bentley talks about doing is removing the clutch cylinder piece from the mount, but without disconnecting the hose. So we've got a 13mm bolt here we're going to remove, and then 2 on top of here, 1 on each side of this cylinder. And then we'll be able to remove this out and move it to the side. So while we're on this side of the transaxle, we're going to have to remove the reverse light, which is right here. So we're just going to take those off. I don't know if they're supposed to be specific wire to specific wire, but I have to redo this wiring anyway because it looks like somebody took a like a plug-in cord from a light fixture and used this for. So I'm gonna have to trace these all the way to the front anyway. So I'm just gonna take those off, push them back a little bit, and we're gonna pull this off. That's our ground strap. And that's one thing that we have to pull off. Let's see if I got the right. Yep, I do. Now you should have the battery disconnected already from this, which I do in this case from this vehicle. Don't have a battery in it, so you don't want to remove this ground strap if you still got your battery connected. That could be bad. Just gonna put this bolt right back in there. We may end up getting a new ground strap. I don't know how old that one is, but the copper's kind of black on it, so. All right, and that's technically everything on this side that we have to unhook. On the other side, we have the linkage. So I'm going to move you over to the other side and we'll take care of that linkage. Okay, so next thing that, this isn't necessarily in order of what Bentley says, but Bentley, I think it said remove ground strap, remove shift linkage, then remove reverse light. Since we were on that side, we did the reverse light first. Now we're going to do the shift linkage. This is a 19 millimeter. I'm going to throw that on a socket and see if I can get that free. One thing that's different about what I'm doing here as well is that I don't have this hooked up anymore to the engine. I mean to the axles. So I got to kind of hold on to the tranny, and it worked. It's loose. Shift linkage removed. Let's put this back on. That looks like it's going to need to be replaced. So, next step, I'm going to move again to the front of the transaxle. And the next step Bentley talks about is removing these mount bolts to the frame. So there's 4, there's 2 on each side, and I'm gonna have a jack underneath here holding this, so because it's got some weight to it, we don't want it to fall on me or on anything else. And I'm also gonna put the drain plug back in so that it won't be leaking all over the garage. All right, that's next steps. Okay, so we're at the front of the transaxle where it hooks to the frame here. Here's the bolts we're going to remove, and 2 on this side. I've got a jack, not jack the bus, but I've got a jack underneath the, what I'm hoping is the, well, I'm going to move it up a little bit because let's move it up a little bit. These things aren't super, well, they're heavy, but they're not like super heavy. And I just don't want it to fall off on me when I take it off. All right, so here we go. 13 millimeter. Yep, not enough torque now. Now that we got the weight on it. Oh yeah. Which way is it gonna go? What I'm gonna do is lower it down a little bit so there's not so much weight up high. This is tricky because, to be honest, I don't know how much this bad boy weighs, but we're gonna find out. Just make sure we don't have anything under there that's gonna crash and break. It will, well, depends on where the counterbalance is. And we will find out soon enough. Right about now. Okay, perfect. We'll just move it forward just a little bit. Just don't want it to fall too hard. There we go. Always a little bit of excitement here at the Smith Garage. And there you have it, safely on the ground. Let's get your camera here and just show you what we did. There you go. It's down. Whew. Okay, there it is. I want to thank you for joining me today on Mr. Smith's Garage. If you got nothing better to do and you watch YouTube and you want to learn a little bit about Volkswagen Vanagons, this in fact being an older air-cooled Vanagon, so there wasn't that many years, and they are pretty cool. So I know people like want to change them to Subarus and whatever, but what's not to like about 67 horsepower, right? So if you are interested, go ahead and subscribe, like, and tell everybody that you know that what a cool channel this is and the kind of things that we do. So next thing we'll be doing is cleaning that thing up and getting ready to go back in. And this now that it's empty back there, it's about time we take off all the suspension, redo the suspension, go visit Burley, get some rad flow shocks and all the new bushings. Clean it up and then put it back in there, and then we'll start putting stuff back in and maybe get that engine in there, get it growing. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day and a great week. Thank you.